Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone had a great Halloween despite of the virus. And if you guys did anything cool, let me know. It's always interesting to see how people were working around the social distancing so they could celebrate and still trick or treat. This is obviously my late Halloween video that I decided to do last minute. So this is going to be a chill video where I talk and give you some updates on what's been going on in my life. I feel like it's been a while since I've done a video like this anyway, so I feel like it's past due. Real quick, I want to talk about the artwork that's playing in the background. Originally, it was supposed to be a much bigger piece with more characters and everything, but like I said, I did this last minute, so I only managed to draw 2 characters. The idea was to combine my 3 favorite Halloween movies together in a single artwork, so it was Hocus Pocus, Paranorman, and Coraline. I did sketch out some ideas, which I'll share with you here in the video, that had all of the characters together and sort of a mashup of all 3 movies, but I wasn't able to get that far before Halloween, so I just ended up having Danny from Hocus Pocus and Coraline. So as far as what's been going on with me, for Halloween, I went with my boyfriend to his stepbrother's house, and they had a little get together. You know, there was a bunch of people there. Everyone was dressed up, and of course, you know, there was kids, and everyone was drinking and stuff like that. It was actually really interesting. It was kind of out in the country, so, you know, it was away from like other people, and it was really quiet, and you know, you can kind of be as loud as you want. But overall, we had a good time, and we left at a pretty decent time too. I think we got there maybe around 6, and maybe we left around 10 or 11 or so. I can't remember. You know, it was just like any sort of family gathering. You know, there was food. Of course, like I said, people were drinking. There was tons and tons of candy. We ended up taking a whole bag of just like snacks and candy back to the house. So we're going to be stocked up on that for a while. I think almost everyone is probably like that right now. And something I did this year too is I actually decorated a little bit for Halloween. I still have my little Halloween display up that we have here in the house. I'll take a picture of it so you guys can see it. But I was thinking for each of the holidays I could kind of set up a little area that's sort of like a seasonal thing, so I can sort of rotate it as the seasons change, because I don't really want to decorate the entire house or anything. We live in an apartment, so I mean, it's already small as it is, and you know, I don't want to go through the process of putting things up just to take them down. So I think just having a small space where I can kind of decorate, you know, as the holidays change would work a little bit better for us. We did end up getting a little banner that said trick or treat from the 99-cent store. We actually put it on our door too, so that was part of like my decoration thing, and I'll show that to you guys as well. But since, you know, Halloween is over and everything, I do have to, I guess I don't have to, but I am thinking about maybe sort of transitioning into maybe some fall stuff, maybe just more Thanksgiving type of things. We'll see. I feel like a lot of those stores don't have a lot of those things left. It's mostly, you know, going into Christmas now. I've even seen people taking pictures of their trees. They've already put their trees up since Halloween passed, which is kind of crazy to me. But, you know, if that's what they want to do, then hey, go for it. I don't really have a lot of news to talk about. One thing that I did want to talk about, you know, one kind of big thing, I suppose, is that we did get a new bookshelf. We got it from Big Lots, and if you guys know, like, my 3 favorite stores of all time that I talk about on this channel are the 99-cent store, Dollar Tree, and Big Lots. Just for whatever reason, those are like the trifecta of stores that I love. And I think it only ended up costing us like less than $30 too, and it's like a 5-tier bookshelf, so it's pretty tall. I want to say it was around like 70 plus inches tall, something like that. Maybe a little bit shorter, but we bought that. We had to put it together, obviously, but luckily everything we needed was, you know, already in the box. Unfortunately, though, whenever we get something new, like a piece of furniture that we have to build, I feel like I always kind of take over, and, you know, I kind of want to get involved in the building process. And so so me and my boyfriend, we were, you know, building the bookshelf together, and I was going through all the instructions and everything. And at one point we were putting the bookshelf together, and there's a part where they have two pieces of, they're not really cardboard, but they're kind of like cardboard. I don't really know how to describe them, but they're the backing that goes on the bookshelf. So it's, for lack of a better word, we're just going to call it a piece of cardboard, but it's a piece of cardboard that has the wood texture printed on one side, and then the back part of it is just like normal cardboard type of material. And the way that you're supposed to, I guess, apply it, or the way you're supposed to stick it onto the bookshelf, is to hammer it in with all of these nails that they give you. And so we assemble the bookshelf, we nail in the backing, and then we go and we pick it up, and wouldn't you know it, I say we, but really it was me. I built the shelf wrong, and so when we picked it up, and I'll put pictures up too, because you guys got to see this shit. It was so bad. But we picked it up, and I saw that the wrong side of the wood was showing on the bottom, which meant that I put in the pieces backwards. And so I was like, oh crap, we're gonna have to take it apart again. The problem is that, like I said, with that bookshelf, the backing part of it had to be nailed in. And so since I already did that, I had to kind of figure out in my head, do I want to take the time to take the nails out and flip the bottom pieces right side, or do I want to just leave it as is? The only thing about it is that if I flip the pieces, since I hammered, the back into the bookshelf, the right side would end up having like a whole bunch of tiny holes in it. So I opted just to leave it as it was, and I was, trying to come up with solutions on how to fix it. I thought about painting it and doing some other stuff, but we actually ended up going to Daiso, which is like a Japanese dollar store, and we found some, it's like an adhesive, it's like a piece of tape basically that has like a wood texture on it, and it matched the color of the bookshelf pretty well, in my opinion. So we ended up getting that. I tried to cut as straight of a strip, as I could. I tried to measure it out as best as I could, and I just stuck that on there. And honestly, you can't really even tell. I think if you get up close to it, you're gonna notice that the colors are a little bit off. And because the tape itself wasn't too straight, like I didn't cut it too straight because it was very warped. It was a little difficult to cut. So there are some pieces of like the raw wood still showing, but for right now it works, and I think it looks good. I've since then, put all my books on there and kind of decorated it a little bit, so... And it ended up working in the end, despite my major mistake that I made. And as far as what I've been doing with my time, it's really just been, working and kind of, going about my daily life as usual, I guess, working on my art stuff, working on my videos, and, trying to balance all that stuff together. I actually recently joined some Facebook groups. I talked about it in another video that, I went to the 99-cent store and everything, but I kind of got re-obsessed with the 99-cent store again, to the point where I did join a Facebook group that just posts stuff about the 99-cent store. So there's always a lot of people who do like they do YouTube, and they do like video, I don't know what to call them, but they're like store tours, I guess. They'll just go in and they'll see if there's anything new, or they'll go in and they'll show you like all of the stuff that they bought, kind of like a haul or whatever. So, people post that kind of stuff in the group, and then people will also take pictures of either the things that they saw in the store or things that they've bought, and people will ask about reviews on certain products and everything like that. So it's been kind of fun, because I always it's just a nice way to kind of pass the time, and just to kind of get ideas on like what I can be looking for, because I think different stores get new items at different times. It just kind of depends on I guess the company and how fast they can send them out. So whenever I see something new that I want, it's always like a treasure hunt to see if you can find it, in your store. I know recently I actually found this is kind of stupid, but I found like a toilet paper holder I saw one posted on the group like a while back. I had been on the lookout for them for a while, and in this past time when I went to the 99-cent store, I actually ended up finding them, so I ended up getting one, because I knew if I waited and came back, they were probably going to be gone. So I just kind of had to, jump at the opportunity there. And since I did join that group, I actually ended up joining a Dollar Tree group as well, which, basically has the same sort of stuff. I think the only difference is that the Dollar Tree one has a lot of people who do like DIY stuff, which I like seeing the DIY stuff, but it's not really, what I'm interested in. I just kind of want to see like what new products they have and like what new things are in the store. So, it's been kind of fun to see all those posts on my feed whenever I go onto Facebook now. It's always kind of nice to come to. The last group that I joined, I think like in the past month or so, I've joined 3 groups. So it was those 2, and then I've also joined a Animal Crossing group. And the group I specifically joined was one where everyone is over the age of 25. So obviously, it's a lot of people who are over the age of 25, so it's not a bunch of kids in the group, it's a lot of adults who enjoy the game as well. And that group has been fun too. It's always people post, memes and pictures of their island, or they'll post like their code to go visit their island, or if they're looking for a specific item and, want to trade for something or whatever. So, the usual kind of stuff that you do in Animal Crossing. So that's been pretty fun too. And I think honestly what joining these groups has taught me, and this is something that I think I haven't really felt since probably I was in high school, because I talked about in I think one of my sketchbook videos how I used to be really active on the Little Big Planet like forums. If you guys remember the game Little Big Planet, that was for like the PS3, and there's one for the PS4 I think too. But I used to be really obsessed with that game, so much so where I was on one of the forums and I was pretty active on there. I was always looking at the news stuff, looking at what I was always interacting with the community and stuff like that. And that sort of feeling of being part of that community and everything is something that I feel like is happening again, like with the groups that I've currently joined. I mean, I don't really post a lot within the 3 groups. I've only really posted in the 99-cent store group and in the Animal Crossing one. But with the Animal Crossing one, I've only just commented on things. I haven't really posted anything quite yet. I am planning on maybe posting some of my artworks that I've been doing here on this channel. I want to start with the newer one that I'm going to be putting out. That way I don't just kind of flood the feed, I guess, of all of my artwork. I don't want to be annoying about it. Like I said, it has been nice kind of having that feeling again of being part of a community and getting to interact with people who enjoy the same things that I do. I think that's something that can, help you grow just as like a person. But anyway, that's just how I've been spending most of my time, just, getting enjoyment from watching people post stuff from the 99-cent store and, playing Animal Crossing. That's what I'm all about right now. And as far as like work-wise, some of you may or may not know that I work at Hobby Lobby, and I have a few little stories, I guess, to tell. Some of them are kind of fitting with the Halloween theme, I think, because they're kind of scary in a way, I suppose. So one thing that I learned, I think it was last month or maybe the month before, but we found out that Hobby Lobby isn't going to be carrying any Halloween items anymore. And I feel like this news isn't really relevant right now just because Halloween is over, but just in case if any of you guys were at the stores and you were wondering like where all the Halloween stuff went, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of insight. So here's what I heard. I'm going to give you guys some tea real quick. That's what the cool kids say, right? I'm going to spill the tea. But from what I heard, and I don't know if this is actually true or not, but I believe someone may have complained to the company just because Hobby Lobby is like a Christian store and, Halloween isn't exactly, Christian, I guess. I don't know. People kind of get upset about, things like that. So it is what it is. And, the company ultimately decided that we're just not going to be carrying Halloween things anymore. We don't even have any sort of like Halloween stickers actually, because normally within our like paper crafting department, we have a whole like sticker aisle. And usually we would carry like all of the holidays like year round, like the stickers, I mean. And we have like Christmas and fall and 4th of July and all that stuff. But I did notice, because someone was looking specifically for Halloween stickers, that we didn't even have those anymore. It was just a lot of, like I said, fall related things, a lot of pumpkins, a lot of like harvest type of things. So we don't even have those anymore, which kind of sucks, because I was really looking forward to getting some things from there, because Hobby Lobby did have some cute like Halloween decorations. Since I wanted to decorate for Halloween this year, I ended up just getting my decorations from the Dollar Tree, and I think I got like one thing at Big Lots, but that was about it. So that kind of sucked. So I had a lot of customers over the past month or so, ask about Halloween stuff, and unfortunately I had to tell them that we're not going to be carrying that stuff anymore. So it is what it is. I mean, nothing I can do about it. Kind of onto the scarier stories that I had. So I have 2 of them, and one actually happened yesterday. So I don't know, maybe I should start with that one. I'll be honest, I don't have the full story. I just kind of have bits and pieces. But when yesterday was our truck day, and everyone was super busy with everything. We were all, it's Monday, so I mean, business isn't as crazy, I guess. What ended up happening was, there was a woman and daughter in the store, just shopping around and everything. And I believe another person, it was either a son or someone that they knew, just wanted to stay in the car or whatever. They just wanted to stay in the car while the mom and the daughter shopped. And what ended up happening was that someone came up to the car while, that person was inside of it, and basically like held them up at gunpoint. From what I was told. I mean, the cops came and everything. So, it was crazy. Like, it was crazy. I didn't see the cops there. I think they had just left when I heard about it. It was the thing that everyone was talking about, the rest of the day. Yeah, so the guy, I guess, got held up at gunpoint. I want to say they actually stole the car, and the mom's purse was inside of the car. And like I said, the cops were called. I don't know if they ever found the car. I don't know what happened, all that stuff. This is all just things I heard from other people, and I'm just here thinking like, geez, like what is going on? Like 2020 is just crazy right now. So that was one thing. And then, like I said, it was during our truck day too. And if you guys don't know, truck days for Hobby Lobby are like a 12-hour shift. It's like a whole day event, right? And so I was there at 7 in the morning, and I got off at, I actually got off early. I got off at like 6 p.m. And since it's daylight savings time, or, since the hour shifted back, since we gained an extra hour or whatever, it got darker sooner. And so you best believe that when I was walking to my truck, I was, I held my keys in my fist just in case if I had to fight somebody. But, for the most part, I didn't, I wasn't too scared, but, you always kind of have to be cautious and everything, especially when you hear a story like that. And especially when, it's by the place, it's literally by the place you work at. So I think everyone, from now on is going to be a little more vigilant on, what's going on around the building. But that was my first story. So the second one that I have is, like I said, kind of scary in a way. This all happened at Hobby Lobby too. I don't know what it is with Hobby Lobby, what it is with the area that I work in, but we are wilding out with Nick Cannon right now. But the second story that I have actually also happened to a customer as well, unfortunately. Don't worry, she's okay, by the way. I don't want to insinuate that she's dead. But what ended up happening was that I was working, I think this was on a Friday, I want to say. And I think this might have happened at the beginning of October or maybe the end of September, I can't remember. But what ended up happening was that I was working, I had a lady come up to me, an older lady, and she kind of very like nonchalantly just told me that someone was on the floor having a seizure. You have to keep in mind too that whenever I was working, I was in the middle of like moving some things around. So usually like, you know, when you're focused and like in the working like mode, it takes a while for like things to register in your head, you know, especially when you have to shift gears so fast like that. So the lady, you know, she comes up to me and she tells me, you know, there's someone on the floor and someone's having a seizure or something like that. And she was wearing a mask. I mean, obviously we're all wearing masks, right? When she was speaking, it was kind of muffled and I only understood a little bit. And I at first thought she said that there was a baby having a seizure. And so I was like, oh, okay, you know, let me, you know, I put down what I was doing. I went over to the area. She said there was a person. And yeah, sure enough, there was a lady on the floor actually who was, you know, she wasn't really responding. There was another lady with her. I had asked her, you know, who she was. Do you know the woman? She said that she didn't know. The woman who had found the lady that had a seizure, she was very, I mean, you could tell she was very shaken and kind of scared. She didn't really know what to do, it seemed. I mean, I don't know if anyone would really know what to do in that situation, you know, besides the obvious of like calling 911, but you know, you could tell she was kind of scared. You know, I asked her what happened and if she knew anything, but she said that she had just found the lady there like that, and she was breathing really heavily. It almost kind of sounded, if I could describe it, it just sounded like snoring in a way. Like she wasn't asleep, but just the sound that she was making sounded almost like snoring. Of course, my manager came and I think we had called 911 at that point. Someone had told someone to call 911, so they were on their way. There was a point where we weren't really sure if they were going to be sending an ambulance, just because when my coworker who had called 911 got off the phone with them, the people on the phone had asked, you know, what had happened and if she was, you know, responding. But of course, the coworker that was talking to them was up at the front, so she really didn't know anything. And I want to say that, and from what she told me, from what my coworker told me, was that the people on the phone had asked if she could call back when she had more information. And so we weren't even sure if, you know, they had sent anybody. And, you know, it's such a weird feeling because there's a certain sense of like, you know, there's a sense of urgency because we don't know if this lady is going to be okay. And there's also that sense of confusion because we weren't sure if they were even going to send anybody when they got off the phone. And so we were actually just about to call the police again just to make sure that they sent somebody when we saw that there was, you know, an ambulance and a fire truck and all that stuff. I'm not even really sure why they sent a fire truck and everything. I mean, anyway. So luckily they did end up sending somebody, and they went and checked on her. They took her in the ambulance. I think my managers had to fill out, you know, an accident report and all that stuff. I think they even had to go and, you know, double check the cameras and see what happened. I don't recall if they saw anything on the cameras, but the lady's doing okay. We had asked about her, I think a couple of days later. The managers had told us that she had called. She had thanked everyone that helped her out, and apparently that was like the first time that she's had a seizure before, so I don't know what kind of, you know, health issues are going on there, but, you know, as long as she's okay and everything, I mean, like I said, it really kind of shook everyone at the store. I mean, you know, customers and of course the employees as well. So anyway, that's something else that happened. I mean, I don't know what it is, just these last couple of months have been interesting. God only knows what's going to happen in December. But on a lighter note, I suppose, something else I wanted to talk about. I mean, this isn't really something that affects me all too much, but it's just something that I think is kind of funny, I guess. It's just that Hobby Lobby recently, I don't know how recently, I think it was last month as well, but they actually increased their minimum wage to $17 an hour. And the only reason why I think this is funny is just because, you know, ever since that's happened, we've kind of had an influx of just applications, you know, kind of coming in. I mean, and we've hired a lot of like seasonal people because, you know, that's just what we need right now. But it's just interesting to hear people, you know, the people who get hired talk about like the $17 an hour when you're full-time. and everything like that. I don't know if us part-time people got a raise. I want to say that we did, but honestly, I haven't really cared enough to check. I mean, I work enough to where I can, pay my bills and have enough money to buy groceries and things. So honestly, for me, I really don't care. Like I've said before, Hobby Lobby is a great place to work, and I really love working there. I mean, it is retail, so it does get annoying, and there are some things about it I wish I could change, but ultimately it's a job, it's consistent money, and I do like working there, but I want to focus more on my art stuff. I will say though that when I did hear that full-time people were getting that $17 raise, or not $17 raise, but they were going to be making $17, I did get a little bit jealous. I was kind of like, damn, maybe I shouldn't have gone part-time, but I think if I hadn't gone part-time, I wouldn't have enough time to do these videos that I love to do, and get to share my art with everyone out there here on YouTube, anyone who decides to watch me and subscribe and all that stuff. I am grateful that I did decide to take the plunge and kind of really focus in on my dream and things like that. So yeah, I mean, there's no regrets or anything. It's just that when I first heard that, I was like, man, imagine making that much money. But anyway, as far as me, just personally, I've been doing okay. I think people are still having a bit of trouble just sort of adjusting to, the social distancing and maybe being at home. I know some people are still out of a job. I'm not really sure like what places are even hiring, or if there's some places that are still closed. I feel like for the most part everything might be open, to a certain extent, but I do know a few people who are still, looking for work and all that stuff, and I feel for them because I know it must be hard, especially if they have, families to take care of and things like that. But hopefully the new year will come with some better news and hopefully a better year overall. We're getting pretty close to the new year, which is kind of crazy. But like I said, just, for me personally, I've been doing okay. I'm lucky enough to have a job to go to and be making, enough money to do all the stuff that I need to do. And just, I'm trying to keep up with posting content for you guys and just, trying to improve on my art and trying to improve on my video editing skills. I want to try and be a little more consistent on Instagram. I've actually thought about maybe trying to do little mini videos for Instagram, since they introduced the IGTV thingy, and they introduced those reel things too that I think they're supposed to like mimic like TikTok in a way. So I've been thinking about maybe doing some videos there, especially some videos that I've wanted to do that may not really go with like the theme of my channel. So like obviously my channel's like very art related, but like I've said before, I really like the 99-cent store and the Dollar Tree, and I've been thinking about maybe doing videos about the things that I find at those stores on my Instagram, maybe just so I can kind of expand that a little bit. And especially if I find something that's like art related, then it kind of works both ways. But I'm still thinking about all that stuff. It's not something that's going to happen anytime soon. I still have to figure out how all that stuff works, because they're coming out with all of these new things, and it's kind of scary whenever you're still trying to like figure out the platform and everything like that. I mean, Instagram by itself is pretty, basic. You just kind of post a picture and, whoever follows you sees it and stuff like that. But, when you get into like the IGTV thing and the reel thing, it kind of gets into some technical things, I guess, some other things I need to learn. But, that's just kind of what I've been doing and kind of how I've been spending my time. And I think really that's basically about it, you guys. That's all I have to talk about for right now. I honestly thought I had more to talk about. There might have been a few things that I forgot to mention, but maybe I can save that for another video or something like that. And hopefully you guys kind of enjoyed my random stories and rambling and all that stuff. So if you guys would like to see the finished artwork, there will be a link to my DeviantArt page in the description below. I always forget to mention that I have a DeviantArt and that's where I post my finished artworks. I've forgotten to mention that twice already in my Animal Crossing videos, so hopefully from now on I will remember to mention it. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys! Thank you so much for watching. I post new art videos every other Wednesday, so consider subscribing to the channel by clicking my logo on the screen or the subscribe button down below. If you'd like to further support this channel and me, you can buy me a Ko-fi in the link below, and anyone who donates gets a shout out at the end of my videos. Thanks guys!